Polynomials, or many terms, is an expression that you're going to be seeing a lot of in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to look at different kinds of polynomials, and I wanted to give you some examples of what those different kinds look like and what we might call them. So one example is called a monomial. Mono meaning one, so one term, and an expression that has one term can be basically anything that has, it could be a number, okay, a number, so it could be like -3 or 5/8 or 16. So, you know, it could also be a decimal. So any number could be a term. It could also be a variable, and this variable could have a coefficient like 2x or 3y to the third power. Remember that the 2 or the 3, those are called coefficients, and we're multiplying them to the variable. And also notice that the variable has an exponent, or a degree, and the degree is going to be, so in this case the degree would be 3. In this case the degree would be 1, even though we don't write the 1 there with the x. Now a monomial might also be a product of terms, and so we might have, like in this case 2x, we could have maybe 1/2 x, something like that. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem, so we're representing the product here 1/2 times an unknown number. It could also include a quotient, which is a division problem. And so an example might be y divided by x cubed. Okay, it looks like a fraction, but this is also a division problem. Okay, so we can have monomials. Excuse me, monomials could be any of these examples. For instance, 4x squared, or we could just have a number like 9, or we could have you know, a coefficient with a couple of variables, like say -3x squared times y to the 6th power. Okay, all of these by themselves are called monomials because they follow the rules of what a term is. Now, the other kind that we're going to look at is called the binomial. And if you think of bi, that means 2. So that means there's going to be 2 terms within our expression. And some examples might include something like 3x plus 4, or say 2b to the 4th power minus 6c to the 5th power. Notice I'm using other variables other than x, y, or z. Any letter will do. Notice that in this example, the second one, we're subtracting instead of adding, and our exponents have a higher degree than, say, that first one. The first x only had a degree of 1. We could also have maybe you know, a variable with a constant, similar to this one with this number. So like say 2c plus 1, or we could do like a -1. Okay, so you can use integers, positive and negative numbers. Another common polynomial that we'll see is called a trinomial. And again, tri means 3, so we're going to see 3 terms within the expression. When we talk about quadratic formulas or quadratic equations later, you'll see that we've got, you'll see it set up something like 2x squared plus x minus 4. This is a trinomial expression because we have 3 terms, okay? So you can see something like that. Another example would be something like, 4x squared minus 6y minus 1/2. Okay? Again, we have 3 terms in the expression. Now, there are other polynomials that go beyond trinomials, but they don't really have a special name, and I don't think we'll be seeing too many of those, but you could have something like, say, 4x to the 4th power minus 2x to the 3rd power plus, say, x squared minus -2, something like that. So in this case we have 4 terms, and there you go. And you might have more, but like I said, we're not going to see too many of those.